Welcome, welcome, welcome. Once again, it's Hey Young World and the I Did
and still do
Marriage Podcast with Emmett and Karletta, straight from the MILB. That's right, my mother-in-law's basement. I'm Emmett, and we got over here special girl, a real good girl. In the world.
Get the words right.
I don't remember
You
the
don't know
words.
the
I
words.
honestly don't remember.
You don't know the words. You don't know the words.
I really don't remember the words, and that's bad because we talked about this before we got started. So, and I don't remember the words. Do you remember the words?
I remember the words.
Oh, we'll say them.
I'm not gonna rap.
Say them. Come
I'm
on.
not a rapper. I'm not a rapper.
That's the wrong beat anyway.
It's not my ministry.
It's not your ministry?
Not my ministry.
How you doing? How you feeling?
This is the infamous movie night shirt that we talked about.
Oh yeah.
When I wore the sweats and the chucks and the head wrap to the movies. Yeah. This is the shirt.
The infamous shirt.
The special girl, real good girl shirt.
Oh, it's real, baby.
Shout out to Melanin Apparel. This is not sponsored. Thank you. Check them out. Check them out.
So here we are again. And man, there's so much that's going on, right? There's really so much that's going on.
Yeah.
We wanted to talk about maybe like a little late, but
we're always late. We're like the latest ever.
It might be a little late. So last week, of course, the world was stunned before Renaissance. It was like, it's like a 1-2 punch kind of thing.
Yeah.
I believe. So so you got like the Will Smith apology video, and then you have, Beyonce's Renaissance.
Did she come out first?
Did she come out first?
I don't know.
Honestly, I thought it was Will Smith apology and then Beyonce. That's what I thought.
I don't know.
You don't know?
It was the same week.
Right. So there was a lot in that week, right?
It was a lot.
So we watched the apology video, like many of you probably watched the apology video. Now, most of us, and I'm putting myself in that, not necessarily you speak for yourself, but for me, I was just like, I'm over it. But this one, comes in the room and is like, did you watch the video?
And I watched it again with you.
You did? And
because I was trying to look at his eyes and his face and stuff like that.
I want you all to notice, yes, she watched it again with me. I need you to understand that I didn't necessarily want to watch the video, but
at all.
Yeah. All right. What's that? Happy wife, happy life kind of thing. That's another podcast for another day, though.
Maybe
that's another podcast for another day. That entire saying. But anyway,
I like that.
So we watched the video. I watched the video. This was our second time, my first, and there was a lot that was going on in my mind. I'm not going to talk about the slap. That's like 3 months ago, whatever. The video, it got me. The first thing that got me was, this is a highly produced video. That's number one. It's like, the background, you hear the people talking in the background, and then you watch him come and sit down, and he's talking, and he's got the hand mannerisms and the cuts and and it just feels highly produced. That was the first thing I thought about the video. And I was like, I don't know about this. I don't know. But I will say that it seemed like he was sincere in the apology to Chris Rock's mama and his brother. Talked about being irreparable, the damage that he had done and all that. So I'm really thinking like there was a lot that went on that night. There was a lot that had gone on before that night, and I think the things that happen behind closed doors, unfortunately, they often will come to light. Mm-hmm. And they manifest themselves in some very serious ways because as couples, partners, however you classify yourself, right, there's a lot that goes on behind closed doors.
Right.
I can, speak of that. And I think that everybody listen to Beyonce, Church Girl. I still don't know what that song really means. If you want to, hit us up, and please don't forget to hit us up. You can comment, you can send us, stuff like issues, like just comments, questions to heyyoungworld07@gmail.com. We try to put, stuff out, pics out on the gram, heyyoungworld07. But once again, heyyoungworld07@gmail.com. Hit us up. And please don't forget also to hit that subscribe button. All right. Smash it, hit it, do whatever you do to it. Smash that like button too. We like you.
We like you.
We like you. Like us.
We like you.
It's not trying to be thirsty. But so
a little bit.
Just a little bit. Those things that happen behind closed doors. I was talking about Beyonce Church Girl. Once again, I really don't know what the song meant. We sat there and listened to it. And not only did I listen to it, I'm showing my age. We also looked at the words.
Read the lyrics.
We were reading the lyrics as we were listening to it, right? It's crazy. So I still don't know what it means. And I'm like, I asked a millennial, an older millennial, what it meant. And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. So
what was about being yourself? And
like being yourself, like I can be church girl, free, but I can also be thought or something like, I can't remember what they said. I was like, okay. Whatever. And yeah, you can. Right? I bring that up to say that for those of us who grew up in church or who've gone to church or went to church at a young age, that things happen behind closed doors. Then there's a face you have in the front, but then there's also that thing that happens behind closed doors. And a lot of times, unfortunately, the things that happen behind closed doors, that's the real you. That's the real family. That's, that's really what it is. And I'm not saying that, that the upfront stuff is necessarily fake, even though that's the first thing that came to my mind when I looked at the video. I don't want to say he's fake, but it just felt like an overtly produced piece. But what I'm really saying is the things that happen behind closed doors are different a lot of times than the things that happen in the front. So
behind closed doors, he's probably in therapy.
You think so?
Probably. I think so. I think he well, actually, they're pretty open about the fact that the whole family's in therapy.
Yeah, because Red Table Talk is not like therapy. That's just like an airing of the dirty laundry. That's actually
they provide resources. They provide ways to express yourself in a healthy way.
But they're making money off of airing their stuff.
Oh, okay.
Right? Yeah.
Okay. But and then also, of course, Will Smith's video is going to be produced. He's Will Smith.
I mean, so you didn't find a problem. There wasn't like no issue with you from that. With you.
No, I would expect it to be a professionally done video. He's not just gonna come out with an iPhone video and be like.
But that would seem more real to me if it was like shaky and like, yo, I'm sorry. Like I won't like the snot and the like Chris Rock, mama, I'm sorry, Tony, my bad, man. I mean, all that. I need. So
you wouldn't be like, oh, he an Oscar winner, he acting, he faking. If he came out there crying, come on.
Okay, so
I thought it was genuine. I feel like he's really sorry. And I think that, like he asked at the end, if you hang on, everything will be okay. I think he's asking for patience and grace from people.
All right, bump Will
during
Smith.
This time.
Once, I mean, say it like that. Y'all know.
You meant.
I mean, like bump him, like F him. No, I'm talking about just like moving on.
Okay.
It's the stuff. It's that what I really want to talk about is, like I said, the behind closed doors things. Because everybody knows why the joke was, everybody knows why it happened, and the joke that spurred it, right? So you talk about the things that happen behind closed doors and the things that propel you to act because those things have happened, behind closed doors. And of course, it's because of of the joke that Chris Rock made about Jada being bald and the alopecia. I gotta be honest with you. I'm like so terrible with following movie stars and stuff like that. Number one, I had no idea that Jada Pinkett had alopecia. That's number one. Number two, I didn't even know she was bald, y'all. I didn't. So with that, when I first saw it, I thought it was maybe for a role, and I had no idea. So I had to I think you told me. Then I saw some stuff online. I was like, oh snap! I had no idea. I'm boring. This should probably be called, instead of the I Did and Still Do podcast, the Boring People's Podcast, because I didn't know.
You don't keep up with
Mm-mm. No,
pop culture too much.
no, no, not really. So for me, it was like, man. So I'll say this though, and we had to talk about this particular episode because in conversation with it, like with a couple of my friends, I was like, I'm not necessarily condoning what he did. And that's like I said, I'm not talking about that. I know you all have opinions about that. I got opinions about it. But I dealt with that like 3 months ago. For me, it was I I can understand why he got upset about that. I can really understand why he got upset about that. And there's a reason behind it.
Right, because I have alopecia. And when that happened, I really understood how Jada could have been feeling in that moment with the joke.
Mm-hmm.
And when I looked at her face, I kind of felt the same way. Like,
And it wasn't a get him face, but it wasn't a get him
no,
face.
it wasn't.
It wasn't.
It was more like really like disappointed or exhaustion or like, I mean, she was probably embarrassed too, but it was more like, come on, man.
So it was a buildup. I felt like it was a buildup of all the things that happened, when that happened. So
I'm thinking, and like I said to you, I'm thinking we don't know what their day was like on that day of the Oscars, right? She looked amazing. As usual, whenever I see her, she looks beautiful. But we don't know what that was like for her getting ready for the Oscars. She could have been emotional, like, I have this gown and my hair, or she could have heard a negative comment or seen a bad somebody say something negative about her hair, or just anything could have happened that day. So we don't know what was going on with them that day of the Oscars or the day before, or she could have had an emotional breakdown that morning because of her hair, or but we don't know.
But that's the thing that we're really talking about, is dealing with those things, because out in public, we have a certain, I mean, people, not us per se, but we're people. So we have a certain persona. There's something that you put out there when you project out. When you go out, like, you want to look good. All right. Mm-hmm. I mean, unless you just like, it's one of those days where you don't care. You put on your Crocs, you put on your sweats. Right. And I'm talking about like you went to the movies.
Like when we went to the movies, when I put on this t-shirt and some sweats and some jets and a head wrap, leave me alone. We have to keep bringing that up.
Rough. But so that's
my eyebrows were popping up. Like,
they were, her eyebrows.
Don't even play with me.
Ever since the pandemic, like, their eyebrows stay on point.
Don't play with my eyebrows.
What would Emmett say? He would be like, they busting. Oh no, that's just for food.
That's for food.
I'm sorry, forgive me.
They
terrible. So anyway.
I don't know. I don't know what the words are anymore. I don't know. I'm an old lady. I don't know.
Fly? Definitely not. Dope? Nope.
They don't say dope?
I don't know.
Okay, we're
good now.
We're getting off. Okay, go.
You have that look, that persona out there.
Right.
And then what happens is you come back in and it's something different. Mm-hmm. Not, I mean, a little bit different, right? So with the whole alopecia thing, you were talking about, you don't know what the day might have been, but I felt like I know what he's talking about. And when you have a partner, when you have somebody that you're lifing together with, and they go through something, you go through it too. Mm-hmm. And that's a struggle behind closed doors. It really is. It's a struggle. So you started getting shots in your head, and that journey has been,
it's been hard. But just to backtrack and give some context or some history here, I would say around 2019-ish, I started noticing thinning. And that was when I got it cut real short. I think that was.
It was actually, but it was really before that you started noticing thinning.
I started noticing thinning, and I got it cut. I've been wearing my hair natural since 2014, and I loved, after I got used to everything, how to do my hair and the porosity tests. I know ladies out there know what that is, and my hair type and my 4C hair and the products that I went through. Like I spent so much money on products, it was ridiculous. And the twist outs and all that stuff. And I really enjoyed my natural hair. And once it got long enough, remember I was wearing my bush all the time and be like picking it out. And
fly. Old again.
And it was about 2018, 2019. I noticed that my hair started thinning. And I was like, oh, maybe it's just stress, because
and
life.
To backtrack even more, with kids, with Emmett being born, and the epidural, there was
right.
that. And
I had a little bit of hair loss with him,
and then with Zach,
and then I cut it off.
Then you cut it off with Zach. It seemed like that was like 2015. That was like, boom. So
I had a little bit of thinning after I had him, but it wasn't excessive, and it grew back. And then it was just like my edges. After I had him.
You know how y'all ladies are with them edges.
Okay, don't mess my edges.
I'm sorry.
And then it was fine. It grew back and I was natural. My hair was healthy and it was growing. And then all of a sudden I noticed it was thinning. And I said, well, maybe it's stress. And I was thinking of all the things that could have been stressing me out, and then I didn't think much of it. And then when you did a church service, I can't remember what it was, watch night or something like that, where they had the cameras all around the sanctuary and I was sitting up front and I saw the playback and I noticed I saw the back of my head because I had it really short then. That was like the first time I cut it really, really short. And I was just like doing the sponge thing because after a while I just got tired of doing my hair. It was a lot of work. So I was just cut it off. And I noticed that the back of my head and I was like, that's weird because it looked it looked patchy to me. And I didn't notice that when I did my hair because I would turn around and look at it and be like, oh, okay, it looks good. But I really got to look at it and I said, this might be a problem. So then fast forward to last year, I went because it kept thinning and I said, this is alopecia, something's going on. But I had never been diagnosed. So I went to a dermatologist and they did a biopsy and they were like, when I first went, they said, yeah, you definitely have alopecia. We just need to know what kind. So we'll know how to treat it. And then I did the biopsy and they came back and said, I have late stage scarring alopecia. And the technical term is, I believe you pronounce it lichen planipilaris, which basically means that the type of alopecia I have is an autoimmune disorder where my immune system looks at my hair follicles like a disease or an enemy. So my immune system is attacking my hair follicles, destroying them, and scarring on top of that. So it's not like Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley. I believe she has alopecia areata, where it's just a complete loss of your hair. And her head, if you notice, is smooth. And a lot of women have that where their hair just falls out and it's smooth, but mine is not. So if I were to shave my head, I would have like
patches,
scar patches. So that is what I deal with. And that's why when I said I could relate, I can relate.
And I could too. And I could too, because not putting myself in your shoes. So I'll never forget when I was sitting down in the pulpit area and there was a choir like up top and they were looking down like snickering, and I'm like, what y'all snickering about? And you're like, hey, you getting bald? And I'm like, whoa.
But that was they weren't like,
no, right. They weren't laughing at me. They were bold. At least they were, they were good enough to tell me, well, you're getting bald, and so we're that's just what it is. Because, all right, I think it's different and from black community to white community. I'm not saying that they're not brothers, who are get upset about it and try to do different things and all that. But baldness, I think we take it a little different. It's like, all right, well, shave it off, and almost if you don't know about it, you go through it, but you go through it, you're just like, okay, so if I have hair and I'm not getting bald, okay, that's fine. But if I am getting bald, like, I don't think we really are like we're holding on to it.
No.
If you got the little circle kind of thing going, or it's like a horseshoe up here, and my hairline was already like, I would be saluting like this, not right here. I'd be like up here. You can almost see it now. I'm like, let it go. Just let it go. You better let it go. I told you I like to sing every time.
Help.
I feel the spirit.
And you know why that is?
Wait. You cut me off. You told your story. Can I tell my story? Can I tell my story?
Go.
Thank you very much. So here I am, going or getting bald and having issues with my hair and the scarring that you would always tell me about in the back of my head, even when I had hair. But I finally went to the dermatologist. So,
and that is what?
That's what?
The bumps.
Oh, I don't know the names. I don't know. You were like, it's,
I believe it's folliculitis.
It's alopecia areata. It's the stigmata. It's the chapachule.
Stop it.
And I mean, you got all the names.
I don't know the names. Folliculitis.
That
if
sounds
I'm
like
wrong,
it.
somebody.
But you keep talking over me.
I know somebody.
But you keep talking over me though.
Because you're singing and rapping. Like, what are we doing? Go ahead. I'm sorry, babe.
Yes, it is what you said. It is the folliculitis,
which is common.
Right? Yeah, whatever.
It's not an uncommon thing.
It's the follicle joint. So I was like, cool, give me some cream. Cool, give me that. Run that to CVS so I can pick that up. And I use it like grease in the morning. I'm like, it's part of my hairstyle regimen. And part of it, the issue was I was having bumps. Coming from the barbershop, my barber, was clean and all that, it would just still bump up. The creams have helped. Anyway, I say all that to say, and I would have gotten to it quicker if I hadn't been interrupted.
I apologize.
No, she ain't really sorry. Is that I was dealing with that almost, at the same time you were dealing with your stuff. But for everybody out there that does not know, she's a soldier. All right. Karletta is a soldier. Everybody has moments when they cry, they grieve, all that kind of stuff. Doesn't really happen like that with this one. All right. And it's not that she holds it in, because that's another podcast for another day. When we talk about the emotional journey and all that kind of stuff that just life takes you on. I'm on an emotional roller coaster. Now you want to roll with me. See? Boom. Stop. Now. So we were on this kind of journey together. But when you went to the dermatologist and the dermatologist told you or offered a solution, and the solution was the shots.
Right. That was in Danville though. And that was
No. I'm talking about here. I'm talking about here.
No, but in Danville they told me too I could do shots of some kind of pill, and
you started here.
I didn't want to do a pill.
We're talking about here.
Yes, here I went to a dermatologist who is a Black woman, and I was very intentional with that because she's a Black woman, and a lot of I wanted a doctor who understood me, as a Black woman.
Doctor.
And
we got the same doctor.
And I talked to her about it, and she examined my scalp, and she's like, yeah, this is what it is. And she gave me a plan, which one of two plans, but the one that I decided on was the injections and the creams.
All right, so
and ointments.
To try to fast forward a little bit, that's what you decided on. Yes. Fine, standing behind her, but no, standing beside her, while she knowing that it's, and I wasn't in the conversation. I mean, like,
I told you about it.
Yeah, no. Yeah. You told me about it. You didn't ask me because it wasn't something that, that I need to be asked. This is what you were going to do. And I was standing with you there the whole way. Now, y'all, This is where it comes in. This is where all this stuff really comes to play. That understanding of, and you're pushed to the limit with jokes or whatever because somebody else does not understand your journey. And we were kind of talking about it, like it's really ironic. Somebody else I know brought it up, that the same person who jokes about this is the same person. I mean, in the Will Smith Chris Rock thing, is the same person who made a movie about hair. Like
Right.
some years over a decade
Good hair.
earlier, right? Good
Good
hair.
hair. Mhm.
So it's like, and even after that, like I think one of the producers or something, said something to him like, "Yo, we told you how serious this was at that time." So they were disappointed
That
in
he would
even
make
him
that joke.
making a joke.
Mhm.
So with all that, the first time you came home from having the shot,
Mhm.
you were in pain. The second time you were in pain,
Mhm.
and you chilled out. I think it was the third time. The third time I was upstairs when you came in,
Mhm.
and you almost collapsed in my arms and had an very emotional moment. And at that point, I wanted to punch the doctor. I wanted to punch the nurse. I wanted to punch the needle. I wanted to punch
Please don't
you know,
punch.
the medication valve. I wanted to punch the insurance people. I wanted to punch anybody who I could punch because nobody hurts my baby. But once again, it's
That was my choice.
it, that it was your choice, but not about it wasn't a bad choice.
Mhm.
It's the fact that here you are dealing with this. And I think for maybe possibly for Will, maybe this is how he felt. I know for me, and not the first time, but I felt helpless.
Mhm.
There was nothing I could do. And it's a when your partner goes through, when the person that you're lifing together goes through something, um, and there's nothing you can do. I think, and I'm talking particularly to men on this, we are in essence, call it right, call it wrong, programmed to jump in and want to help. Yeah, it's unfortunate when the whole mansplaining thing comes in, and I hope I'm not doing that,
No.
but that's unfortunate when that comes in. But we want to jump in and help. It's like it's that whole idea of protecting and providing, and you want to wrap your arms up. You want to do whatever you can. Like I said, if who can I punch? Who can I stop? How can I stop this pain from being inflicted on you? And so I'm not saying that I feel your pain. I'm feeling my own pain with this, not putting it above yours, but that thing where you go through behind closed doors that nobody understands when they see us out in public. When they see you in public, they don't know. But I'm quite sure a lot of women, obviously share your story. And the partners of those women that are sharing your story, we're standing here like, yes, we know what that means for you to go through, and to go through something. It is difficult. So in those moments, right, it's just it explodes, and there's so much that can go on, behind the closed doors that nobody understands, and you get heated and you get hot because it's just about being in protect mode.
Right. Right. And just to explain what the injections are, they are a steroid to keep down the inflammation in my scalp. And whatever it will also possibly stimulate the growth on the parts of my scalp that do not have the scarring. So it doesn't promise regrowth. Well, I can't, my hair will not grow back where
Right.
the scarring is. And it had the injections have helped, and they've helped with the other symptoms, which with if anyone doesn't know or has not been to a dermatologist and has the symptoms that I have, which include scarring, scabbing in your scalp when you haven't been scratching, no chemicals or tight hairstyles, which causes traction alopecia, which is very common in Black women, from tight braids, weaves, things like that, which pulls your hair and can cause permanent damage to your scalp. But for mine, um, there it was like scabs and scarring, and I'd be like, I don't understand why I had these scabs in my head,
Mm-hmm.
remember? And I would scratch.
Mm-hmm.
and it would be like blood or pus or something, and I would have bumps and things on my scalp, and I'd have a lot of burning and itching. So those are some of the symptoms of this late stage scarring alopecia that I have. So if anyone has those symptoms, you need to go and get it checked out by a dermatologist or your regular doctor. So that's what the injections are for. The creams are also for the um the bumps, kind of like what you have.
Mm-hmm.
And it's to keep that also under control. And they have actually been working together. But that third time, I think what happened was I had a bad experience in the office, and I don't want to get too detailed, but I left there feeling really bad and just questioning, what am I doing this for?
Mm-hmm. Right. And
Why am
me,
I doing this?
I'm like, nah,
You
this
like,
is it.
stop.
I'm like, stop. Because you were initially, even before the whole, shots, injections came about, you know, she was like, and I don't know if it was kind of like in a joking way, but I knew you weren't joking. Like, you still love me. And I'm like, girl, you need to quit.
Yeah, balding.
Like, I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. I mean, it didn't matter. And
And
I'm
I
not
was
just, I'm
joking,
not saying, and I'm
but
not saying that, because there's an audience. That's exactly how I responded. Like, get out of here with nonsense. Of course I do. And so for people that really don't understand the journey of a black woman with her hair,
oh goodness.
and even a black woman, her hair, and her partners.
Yes.
That's a whole thing.
Yes.
That's a whole thing. So it was it was a valid question to ask,
Mhm.
and you could have gotten a response that would have drove you further emotional.
Yes.
But for me, I was like, yeah, right. Because I love you. And it does not matter what kind of hair you have. As a matter of fact, right now, you got all kinds of hair.
I do.
All
Oh,
kinds
she
of hair.
pretty. She pretty.
Hmm.
But
They got different names,
the
all that kind of stuff.
relationship black women have with their hair
Yeah.
is something that is just unspoken, but spoken
Right.
at the same time.
Right.
Because just think about, even now I see videos online with little infants, and people are putting braids in their hair, like 6-month-old girls or a year old, like really strenuous type of hairstyles and all these oils and styling creams. And I'm
That's
just
just
like,
juices and berries. That's what Akeem said.
I mean,
Juices and berries. All
it's
that.
just so much starting even from then. And if you listen to how people talk about babies and their hair, oh, it'll grow. Oh, don't get me started about the good hair phrase.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't believe in good hair or bad hair. Everybody's hair is the way it's supposed to be. But we're not taught that.
Right.
We are taught that our hair is our crown, and we express ourselves through our hair, and
But you do.
and
But you do.
and that's
That's
true.
true.
And then there's, how men feel about hair,
We don't like it.
natural hair, and then you got some
Why not?
people out here, oh, I don't like wigs and weaves, I want you to be your natural self, blah blah blah, which is, I think, is ridiculous.
But wouldn't you rather be honest if you were in a relationship? Would you rather, that person be honest with you?
Sure.
And because
Sure, tell them
can
this
we
is a
can we
wig.
say it's vanity? Maybe said vanity, vanity, all is vanity. But I mean, can we say is vanity if you have a certain like, a physical attraction, that you like, and if you say, hey, do you like a woman with a bald hair, or like a woman with a weave or a wig, and like, hey, nah, the person can check out. I would rather know that than later on, you know.
But I mean, it's kind of hard to explain what it's like to be a black woman
No, I
in
can't.
this world,
I can't explain it.
in this country,
I
walking
can't.
around every day and being criticized
Mm-hmm.
for your hair, or not hired for your
Right.
hair, or judged and thought of as ghetto, or
Yeah.
unintelligent because of whatever styles we decide to wear.
Even young black men, with their hair in
Yeah,
certain kinds of schools, that make them cut their hair
right. So
for it's crazy.
it's our hair is so much more than just what you see. It's ingrained in us that our hair is important. We start getting press and comb in a jar. I got my first press and comb in a jar relaxer when I was 9 years old.
You remember that?
I
You remember
remember
that?
that,
It was
and
like,
I did not like it, but I liked the way it looked. So, we straighten our hair and we braid our hair, all these things just to keep um just to keep it looking good, because we feel good when our hair looks good.
or even with right, and it's the same way with. Would you say that like the natural hair? You know, I don't know when it started. You would probably have to tell me that. And when I'm talking like the style of natural hair, I feel like it became cool maybe for the last
Like about
10,
10,
15
15
years.
years maybe.
You know what I mean? So you see natural hair, you see sisters rocking the bald, I mean, like
Because
rocking the crap out of
we
it.
found out that it was okay.
Right.
It was
Right.
finally okay for me to grow this perm out and see what happens.
Yeah.
This is pretty much what I did.
Yeah, and once again though,
And you
that's
were
a
like,
relationship where when you first did it. So let me just like
you were
real
like,
quick.
what?
I was on that. I was on that thing where it's like
What?
long hair, I care, and wanted to see you with long hair.
I've
I
always had
loved.
long hair.
Oh, you always had long hair.
Always had long hair.
I love when you got braids. I love that when you cut after we got married and really after Emmett, you
Emmett.
cut your hair. And I was like, what?
But it was straight though. I was still
It
getting
was so straight,
perms.
but I was just like, why is it so short? I don't know if I like this.
I was still getting perms though.
And
It was good.
But then you went short. Then you went natural. It was short, and I was like,
I had my little bush.
got a little color in it.
Yeah, it was kind of honey blondish. It was cute.
But yeah, I had to understand, and I hope someone hears us. I had to understand once again, it's your hair.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this thing. It was an older black man told me when she starts switching hairstyles, watch out. We start cutting and doing all that stuff. Watch out, something ain't right. Because women change their hairstyles. Like brother, change the draws. I mean, it's the idea that this is what you're doing, and I don't. We can be honest. I don't have to like a particular style, but at the end of the day, it's your hair. It's what you do. Meanwhile, I can't cut my beard. I can't cut this down.
Don't.
Because of someone, this my hair. That's a whole nother podcast for a whole nother day. But behind what happens behind, it does tend to come out. And all of that, the frustration, the hurt, the pain, it affects me. It affects when I go through what I go through, it affects you. And I think we have to be very, very careful. It's about keeping you keeping it real. I always go back to that Dave Chappelle sketch, when keeping it real goes wrong. It's hilarious to me that all the ones that that he did, and you keep it real with how you feel, and yet at the same time you still have to be careful that all those feelings, all those things that happen behind closed doors, that they don't drive you to do something crazy. I'm sorry, something that you shouldn't do, outside of that.
I wouldn't want you to slap anybody.
Yeah, but I think though, once again, I can understand it, because when you don't know somebody's journey and you're making fun of it, even the slightest thing, it does cause offense. What's that thing, that you've seen me go through that, somebody would say something, you'd be like, hold up. Like it would just be automatic. You'd be like, like it's got to be something. You may not be able to put your finger on it right now, but it's got to be something that that I deal with, privately, that you know about. But if somebody said something and you felt like it was an attack, then you would attack back.
Oh, you want me to say it?
No, don't say it. No, don't say it. No, don't say it. What does it have to do with?
No, I was just going to talk about pastors and what people say about
Oh,
pastors.
that's yeah,
I'm ready to fight.
Yeah,
because that's not you're not one of
right.
those, But that's another
That
conversation. But I completely understand. Yeah.
so it's and I don't know if it's like we're not saying this for like a lesson. It's just I think behind it all, there was I just that day. I just go back to that day, and that happened before the whole incident. And so all I'm saying is I felt that. I felt that. Then not condoning it. That's on what you can do whatever you want to do. For me, not condoning it. It had nothing to do with the fact there was white folk in the crowd, nothing like that. That ain't my issue with with not condoning it. But in that moment though, it was like I understand why you did what you did, because when something happens to you, it happens to me also it manifests though in another way. And that's a deeper conversation I think to have when we talk about protecting and providing, and especially as a man, what that looks like, what that means. Protect, provide. There was another P. I forgot what the P was. I can't remember. Protect, provide, and blah 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 blah. Whatever. I might remember it. But those two things are, I think, ingrained in you as a young man, whether you see it, however you see it manifested in the relationships that you observe, as a child. I always saw my grandfather, my grandmother, they rode until she passed first, and then he passed. Like we thought when Granny passed, in 2012 that he was going to be like boom, it was going to be like boom, boom. But nah, he lasted 10 more years, like doing his own thing. But here's the thing. Yes, he was older, so you don't necessarily look for somebody older to maybe get into another relationship, or get married or something like that. He very well could have, but he didn't. And I think part of that is because that was it for him. But from jump, you see that kind of relationship, you're like, man, that's like goals. Or you see other relationships and like goals, or you see relationships that you're like, I don't want to end up like that, and that's once again, that's goals. So with that, the idea of protecting and providing is just there. So anything I can do, if I see any attack on you, if I see any attack on our boys, it's just like you go into that fight mode, because what happens in our personal space. And if somebody attacks anything that we know about, it's like boom, you got to jump in.
You got all of us.
You got all of us, and you got to jump in.
Well, in that instance, that third injection appointment, when I came back, you did exactly what you were supposed to do. You protected me and you provided for me. And all you did was sit there and hold me while I cried. That's all you could do at that point.
You know why, right?
Why?
Because I was trying to get some.
Absolute worst person ever.
I'm joking.
No, but that's what that's what I needed you to do.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know, that appointment was, I asked her what was the progress looking like. She was like, well, it looks a little bit better, but not really much change. You know how she is. She just straightforward, like, I don't have time to be buttering you up, so this is what it is. And she and the nurse were very, comforting with that appointment. And I just left. And I just sat in the truck and cried. And I was just like, Lord, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Is it for vanity? Is it for you? Is it for me? Why am I putting myself through this pain and in this not embarrassment, but just this feeling of maybe embarrassment that I felt that in that appointment in particular. And I just sat in the truck and cried. And then I came back here and I tried to be like,
Nah,
I'm good. But
nah.
when
You
I
see through
saw
that.
when I saw you, I was like, I can't do it.
And then
So
the other part though is I thought, what did I do to possibly make you think that that's what you needed? I knew it wasn't about me.
you didn't
It
do
wasn't.
anything. You
No,
didn't do
no.
anything.
I knew it really wasn't about me, but I was like, did I not do something? Did I not um make her or have her understand that it really didn't matter to
No,
me?
no.
Because it's always, not always, but it's like a, okay, if there's a situation, what have I done wrong? Have I done anything wrong?
No, because when I first started losing my hair, I was joking, asking you, would you leave me if I lose my hair? Or however I said it. I was joking, but I was kind of like, are you still gonna think I'm sexy and still
Yep.
look at me the same and all of that? Because
Yep.
my hair was a thing. You used to
Mm,
like my hair. Not
still
saying
do.
that you chose to be with me because I had long hair when we met, and it wasn't like that.
Light skin, long hair.
But but that
Colorism.
physical changes can change how you feel about your partner. And I was really
Mhm.
afraid that you wouldn't want to be with me anymore. That's why I was like, you gonna leave me if I go bald?
And I was like, no, but you know what my deal breaker is.
But anyway, but it was, as I still consider whether or not I'm gonna finish with the treatment plan, I you know how I am. I'm usually like, all right, whatever, I go with the flow. Whatever comes up, I'll deal with it. We get past it to the next thing.
Yeah.
And I think I really have been forced to sit with it and sit with how I really feel about losing my hair.
Mm.
And it's hard.
Mm.
It's not something I ever imagined I'd be going through. Like, that's the last thing that I would think about is losing my hair. Sure, weight gain or, you know, wrinkles, but going bald is not something that was in my sights ever. So
Yeah.
it's really the fact that you are as supportive as you are, it really helps. If you were a jerk,
Which I am.
which you are,
I
but
am a jerk.
not
Right.
like that.
Yeah, not like
Not
that.
like the type to cause emotional pain or someone.
No.
But the fact that you are as supportive as you are has really helped. It really has. And then I was like, when I started wearing wigs, what is he gonna say? I was so nervous the first time I put a wig on to actually like go out. I was like, what is he gonna say? And you were just like,
Fascinated. I am utterly fascinated by, number one, like the amount of videos, you watched and watch hair videos and all that.
but I was
But
watching hair videos when I went natural
yeah, right. But I mean,
because I didn't want to be going out looking set up.
but when you,
So,
I was fascinated by the process of it all, putting it on. I mean, just from purchase to reception to the opening, like a child at Christmas. I mean, it's amazing. Like, oh, it's you,
yes, I
and I
love
mean,
getting a new wig.
but even to the point of, look, shake the table, to how you do it. I mean, I would often just sit there and watch her, do it. I was fascinated by it. Like, forget the end product. Like I really didn't care. I didn't care. For me, it was more, are you okay? And that's always been my thing. Are you okay? And so you have some. I mean, most of them are fine. I don't. There's one I really really like. There's a couple I really really like. There are others that are like, okay, and then there's that one.
The one I just bought that you don't like.
Oh, she trying to get it right, y'all. She trying to get it right. Anyway, look, I want to wrap it
It's just
all
a
up.
lot of hair. But
I
anyway,
want to wrap it up.
what I would like to close with is um alopecia is very common.
Mm.
and it's very common with Black women, especially. And I hope that with me speaking publicly about this, which I have not done ever, only people close to us know that I have alopecia. Um, I hope that it would alert somebody that they could have a problem, or someone that you might know, or even yourself. Like, just, it's not something that you just want to brush off and say, "Oh, I'm just stressed." It may not even be alopecia. It could be another medical problem that could be causing hair loss. Like lupus or um, anything, PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome causes hair loss. So if you don't go and get it checked out, you never know what could really be wrong.
If I had anything to say in closing, it would be, if you're one of those people that like hair is your everything. I mean, if you're like, you're the partner, of someone who is experiencing this, it's hair. Be there. Just be supportive. It's
That's so important.
because at the end of the day, um, why did you marry this person? Why are you with, this person? And this is a very real thing. So just be supportive. You know, you can't punch anybody out. You can't, it's like the things in life, with cancer, diabetes, kidney issues, um, death. I mean, all these things, right? We have very visceral reactions to the things that happen to us, that we want to just do something. And not that you can't put your energy, that feeling, into something positive. um but I think one of the positive things is to just be there, just support. That's it. You don't have to always say something. Just be there and realize that it's if you want a life together, this is that's what
Hmm.
life together is. It is, if you've taken those vows, right? That's part of it. So
And it's
it's,
gonna be okay.
it's gonna be
It's
okay.
I'm going through the process now. You're gonna grieve. You're gonna, be maybe a little embarrassed. You're gonna feel sad. You're gonna go through a lot of emotions, but it's gonna be okay.
It's gonna be all
So
right.
just, go to therapy if you have to. Pray about it. Prayerfully, you have a supportive partner or family or friend group or something, because alopecia is not a laughing matter.
I try really hard right there, because whenever I hear the words laughing matter, I want to laugh, but it's not.
It's not a laughing matter.
It's
It's
not.
serious.
It is
It's
serious.
serious.
It
So
is.
everybody do your research, Google it, find yourself a good dermatologist, a doctor, or someone, just to make sure you're healthy, not just for your hair, but just for your peace of mind. So don't let it go. Don't be ashamed. It's gonna be okay.
All right. Hey Young World 07 at gmail.com. Holler at us. Holler at us. Hey Young World 07 gmail.com.
Holler.
On the gram, Instagram, that is Hey Young World
Oh,
07. Subscribe to the channel, Hey Young World. We have much more stuff coming out. Can't wait for that. And like it. Just, hit that like button. Smash, they say, smash that like button.
smash it.
All right. Thank you very much. Till the next time, I love you for real
I
and
love
not
you for
play
real,
play.
for real, and not for play play. Can we get it right? I love you for real, and not for play play.
Later.
Later.